Assalamu alaikum. So I hope I'm audible, and this is a very short video and just an introduction on the ADA, exploratory data analysis on the malware data set that I have. Firstly, we have to import all the necessary libraries. I'll mention it here as well. So let's start with that. How am I doing it? I'm simply pressing Control and Enter, or you can also do it from here. Once all the libraries are called, we will initially view the data. First, we are calling in the data to our R. It's been called. So before I start explaining things, the main purpose for this EDA and this project is to predict the whether or not we have a malware or not, whether or not we have a virus or not. So let's start viewing the data. Since you all are habitual and comfortable with viewing it in SQL and Excel spreadsheet programs, this is how our data looks. We have sample ID, download sources, TLD, download speed, ping time to server, file size bytes, how many times files seen, executable code, blah, and so on and so long and so forth. So this is how I prefer to see the data by structure and summary. So it is telling us that this data set has 1,65,053 observation with 16 variables, and the type of variables are mentioned here as well. So sample ID should be in a categorical form. It is, since it's a number here, R is considering it as a number, integer. Download source is obviously a factor variable, categorical variable. It has 7 categories. Then download TLD is also having 6 categories. Download speed has 4 categories. Download speed also has okay, I'm done with download speed. Ping time to server is numeric variable. File size bytes are also numeric. You can basically see from here which is what type of data. Okay, now we'll go to summary statistics of this data. Okay, this since we know that download source is a categorical variable, it shows the count of these categories. So we have the 6 categories as exposed corporate intranet pages, GIT repository, linked directly to Google search results, linked to web search advertisements, university web pages, well-known software download websites, WordPress, Power website. And here we have the domains .com, .edu, .government.net, .net.au.org, and the number of times they are present in our dataset. Then it shows the download speed, categories, and how many times they are present in our dataset, and that is how it goes. Okay, file size byte. It NA shows the not applicable or the missing data. How many times file is seen? The minimum value that file has been seen is 0, while the maximum is 65,535. And same goes for the rest of the variables. Now we have to, before we will go for the analysis and predictions, we have to remove two columns, two variables from here. First is sample ID. because we have a lot of them, and it will become very hard to predict them. Basically, we want to see the trend that will lead to um, become a virus, or to identify the virus. Initial statistical analysis is the one that is done previously, and obviously they want to improve their analysis. That is why we are doing it. So we'll initially remove these two, and we know that this is a supervised machine learning project. Let's continue. Okay, I just shared this. Okay, now let's have a look at it visually. So we can see the frequency on how many times the file has been seen. Let's zoom it a little. When we see things visually, we can better detect them as to whether or not they have an outlier or not. So from this graph, this histogram, we can see there is definitely an outlier, and we will have to remove it. We can also see it from the numbers here that the minimum is 0 and the maximum is 65,535, while the mean is 897.9, or you can say it's around 900, while the median value, the middle value, is around 586. So clearly the mean has been pulled up due to the maximum value. So we have to clean it. And I think we are seeing here that the threads started also has an outlier that is 96 with the same scenario that I just explained. So we'll also see it visually. So we see a similar graph. For now, we'll just remove this plot function because it becomes too heavy that most probably my laptop gets hanged. Now we will also see a correlation plot, which is not very clear because we have outliers here. Let's just go with the flow, and then we'll check how it goes around. So we will say that the 65,535 in the how many times that the file is seen, we'll say that it is an outlier. Let's say it is not applicable, so it becomes easier for us to remove later on. We just